This video is a review on how to do special right triangles from the first trimester. You're going to be using them in polygons for this trimester. So I have, this is a note sheet we did in class. For those of you that missed it or need extra review, I'm going to go through them again. Basically, the way I teach this is to label the sides with the ratios. If you look on your formula sheet, you have the special triangle ratios. For 45, 45, 90, your ratios are 1, 1, and 1.414. And I know some of you use 1.4, but it's not going to be accurate enough if you do that. So we're going to use the whole thing. So every time you can label your triangles ahead, and any 45, 45, 90 is the same label. And I circle the numbers to keep them separate from the sides so you know what you're looking at. Okay, so then once you have this set up, you can write proportions. And so when you look, you always want to use the side that has the two numbers on it. So the ratio there is 1 to 7. That's the circled number over the side. And then this side would be 1.414 over x, and this side would be 1 over y. Things to note, the three circle numbers have to be in the same place. They can either be in the numerator or the denominator. So that gives you two proportions. There's one of them. And here is the other. And most of you can solve proportions. You cross multiply and solve. 1y equals 7, so y equals 7. And 1x equals 7 times 1.414. And that's 9.898. Okay, go to the next one. Set up the same way, only we want to change this 3 radical 3 to a decimal. And the way you do that is you just enter 3 radical 3 on your calculator, or 3 times radical 3. And so 5.196 is that number. And I'm doing 3 places again. And then I set everything up the same way. 1 over 5.196 equals 1.414 over x equals 1 over y. There's my first proportion. So again, you cross multiply, you get y equals 5.196. Second proportion, you get x equals 5.196 times 1.414, which is 7.347. Okay, those are a little straightforward. You can do number 3 the same way. Number 4 is going to look a little different. The proportion is going to be the same, but when you solve, you're going to do something different. So I'm going to set that one up. Start with the side you know. Put that in the middle. And then we have 1 over x and 1 over y. So when I go to cross multiply here, I get 1.414y equals 5. And I go to cross multiply here, I get 1.414x equals 5. And we know y and x are the same because it's an isosceles right triangle, but you have to divide to solve. So 5 divided by 1.414, 3.536. And that means x is also that because they're both the same size. So that's 45, 45, 90. 30, 60, 90. We follow the same steps. The ratios are different, though. So opposite the 30 is our 1, and opposite the 90 is our 2. And then this is this side is a square root of 3. So it's 1.732. And I want you to write all 3 numbers out. It'll allow you to transfer a more accurate answer. So now once I have those ratios, again, it's what's opposite. The shortest side and the longest side are always 2 to 1 relationship. Now I can write my proportion. Start with the side you know. 1 over 4 equals 2 over A equals 1.732 over B. Cross multiply to solve. B equals 1.732 times 4, 6.928. and A equals 8. If you look on your picture, 8, these are always in a 2-to-1 relationship. 8 over 4 is 2 to 1. Go to the next one here. Label your sides. Opposite the 30 is 1. Opposite the 90 is 2. And then 1.732. Change 9 radical 3 to a decimal again. Again, to do that, you multiply 9 times radical 3. That just means 9 times radical 3. So 15.588. Start with the side you know. 1.732 over 15.588. 1 over B, and 2 over A. Again, always check to make sure your ratios are lined up. You can't flip one of the fractions. That's the mistake people often if they have a mistake. So to solve this, I have to take 2 times 15.588, which is 31.176 equals 1.732A. So this one, again, takes some dividing to solve. And you get 18. And you'll notice A equals 18. You know that B is going to be 9 because they're a 2-to-1 relationship. You can still solve this proportion right here if you're not sure. 1.732B equals 15.588. And it comes out exactly to 9. And some of that's because we're using more decimal places. Some of that's just how the problem works out because of the ratio. Okay, so all of these are basically the same. This is my 1, this is my 2, this is my 1.732. Again, it's 2-to-1 relationship. Change 2 radical 5 to a decimal. And you get 4.472. Set up your proportion. 2 over 4.472 equals 1 over B equals 1.732 over A. And solve. Same here. 1.732, 2, 1. Keep them circled, set it up, solve. So if you want, you can solve some of these on your calculator. It looks like a 9, it's an A. You can solve them on your calculator without writing it out, but I would just be careful. .746 divided by 2, 3.873. I'm not as concerned of rounding at the end, but along the way, keep your decimal places. 1.732 over, I need to change 5 radical 6 to a decimal, 12.247 equals 1 over y equals 2 over x. So some of the time you start to catch on with these, you don't have to solve both. I'm going to solve the y, because if I know the y, I can find the x. So 1.732y equals 12.247. And you can go more decimal places if you want. And I get y equals 7.07. That means x, because y is the short side, x is 14.14. It's double that side. They're always 2-to-1. Okay, so to practice, you're going to finish the back of this. And I'll put the answers on here. Just do some of each kind. So some of the 45s, some of the 60s. And then you can pause this and check your answers. This doesn't have the work. It just has the answers. You notice these are the radical forms. So we converted them to decimals for the answers on there. You can also convert to decimals. Like if you're taking the SAT or the ACT and the radicals are on there, you can convert those as well. So you can pause that and check as needed.